Today we're going to talk about parenting. Is being a parent or becoming a parent, is it really for everyone? So I know that this happens in every single community, but I'm going to focus mainly in African communities. I know there's a certain belief or pressure that becoming a parent is something that everyone must do. As much as I like children and I would like to be a parent myself one day, I do understand that being a parent is not for everyone. And I think that we should stop frowning on people who choose not to become a parent and understand where they're coming from. So, why do people choose to become parents? It's life, it's a cycle, it's our life cycle. That's what we do. We are born, we grow up, our parents raise us to be decent people in the community, and then you go to school, you get your education, you work, and then you get married and you have children. That's just a life cycle. However, in the 21st century, this is not like a perfect thing for everyone. It's not like it's not a choice for everyone. There are people who choose to just live their life and not have a family, not get married, and we have a tendency to frown upon these people. Why do we do that? Right, so positive things about being a parent. It's life cycle. We always want to pass our skills and knowledge to the next generation, and it's also because you want your bloodline to continue. You want generate people who have your DNA to carry on. You want your DNA to carry on. So this is why we have children. But not everyone can be a parent. Everybody knows that being a parent is a tough job. It's definitely one of the hardest jobs that that are out there, and to kind of frown upon, look down on someone who chooses not to go that way, it's unfair, because as nice as it is, or that the way we look at being a nice thing to be a parent, we also know that it's very, very challenging, mentally and physically for women as well, and we need to start to acknowledge that the hardship of being a parent, and we need to acknowledge that not everyone is mentally capable of parenting. We never talk about the mental health effect that it can have on people. We never talk. Well, we do talk, especially for women, we do talk about how it affects our body physically, how we change, we put on weight, and it's hard to get rid of it, and your body's just not the same once you become a parent. But mentally it's very, very challenging, because you literally have to raise a person and make sure that this person becomes a valuable person in society, and it's not a burden to anyone, and it's and that's a tough job, to be loving and caring at the same time, being disciplinary to your child, and being strict, or not strict, but educating your child and providing good morals is one of the toughest jobs that we can find out there. But then again, we need to look, because of the way we are built to believe, that you grow up, you get married, and you have children. Some people do that just because society tells them that's what you have to do, and we put pressure on people. This is what you have to do. You're at this age. This is time for you to start having children, start having a family, raising a family. But we also know about parents who aren't so loving, and they aren't so caring, so giving, or they don't give their children the right morals, and these children grow up to be a nuisance to society, basically. They become trouble to society. Or sometimes, because the parent has mental issues, sometimes it affects so badly to a child, the effect is so negative on children that they grow up to have serious mental issues that are quite hard to deal with, and it becomes a problem to, medical issues and all that stuff. So we really need to think about these things when we're talking to people and we're telling them what to do with their lives and putting pressures on them when they're not even prepared, not knowing whether or not they're prepared to be parents. I watch a lot of criminal documentaries, and while watching all these documentaries, there's something that I noticed, that a lot of the people who become serial criminals are people who never had a good childhood because their parents were not available mentally, or sometimes because of sexual, physical abuse, and it changes the person. It changes a child. If you're not in the right environment, you become a product of your environment. This is the reality. So we need to start thinking about this pressure, like, that we constantly putting on people, and being more open-minded and respecting someone's conscious decision not to have a family or not to have a child. Some people just feel like, they just don't want to focus on anyone else but themselves. Being parents means that you have to put yourself last and put your children first. Your children become your life. Everything you do becomes, is for your children, is for the family. And it's not everyone that has that gift, to love someone unconditionally, to put that other person first before themselves. Not everyone has that gift, and we need to start to recognizing that in the society, in the community. We're not, and sometimes people say, oh, but if you grow up and you have to have children because this is what we're meant to do, we're meant to reproduce. We're not an endangered species. The human being is not an endangered species. So if a couple of us choose not to have children, quite honestly, it's not going to affect the human race at all. There is so many of us. In fact, we are the largest species in the world. So, we need to start thinking about people's decision and how we affect the pressure that we put on other people according to their own choices. We tend to pressure people to do things, have children, do this, do that. Some people will have one, and then having one child is not enough. You have to have two. When you have the second, then the second is not enough. You have to have 3 or 4. And we put this kind of pressure, and we're not even helping, especially in the 21st century. And if you live in the Western world, where everybody works, mom, dad have to go to work, and then the extended family can't really get involved as, it used to be back in the days, in the olden times, where everyone used to raise a child. Like in Africa, we say there's a saying in Africa where we say it takes a village to raise a child, which I truly believe that is true, because parents need help from aunties and uncles and sisters and brothers and cousins, to raise children so they can get that break. But in this very fast-paced world, it's quite hard to get there because everyone else is minding their own business, living their own life. So, it's pretty much mom and dad that have to deal with everything and raising the child, and the pressure of raising a child, trying to be this great parents. It can be too much for some people. Not everyone can deal with it properly, and therefore, whether we like it or not, it ends up affecting the children in a very negative way. So I feel like, I love children, and I'm always happy when people want to reproduce. I'm one of those people. When I see a child, I'm just drawn to them. I love children, and I love to have children. I love to have children in the near future, But when someone tells me that they don't want to have children, I don't look at them in a negative way. I don't look down on them. I don't see them as the evil, because some people think, oh, you don't like children, you must be an evil person. But that's not true. Sometimes it's because they love children. They feel they're not good enough to bring them to the world. It's not, so sometimes that's the mindset of other people. So we shouldn't judge and we shouldn't put pressure on people. So let's keep this conversation going. It's a very short video for today. Please leave your comments down. Let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget to subscribe to Venix TV and like our videos and join the family, support us. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good afternoon.
Nanyango akukani na yo, nanyango akukani na yo, nanyango akukani na yo, nanyango akukani na yo. Yesu we, Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Ndeko uzansambe malamu na monike waza ilokola yo. Bana Israele katina desert bayoka kinzala okitisa kimana baliaki ye yango bayoka ki posa ya mai obimisaki mai na libanga bamelaki. Nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, Yesu we, Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu we, Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Qui est comme toi parmi les dieux, ô Éternel? Qui est comme toi, magnifique à sainteté, digne de louange, opéra de prodiges, Kumisa Manayo, Sanzola Manayo, Alléluia.